What's up, everyone? It's Ryan from Hard Money Bankers. Today we got our market maker, Amanda Defilippis. What's up, Amanda?
Hey Ryan, how are you?
I screwed up the first name. I screwed up Amanda. Yeah,
It's the easier one.
yeah. So, I mean, anyone who's been watching the show for I don't know the last 6 months now, 5 months now, we've been kind of getting a pulse from all the local market realtors and experts, and I'm embarrassed to say because I cover the Delaware area, we've kind of neglected Delaware. So, you know,
It's
I
small. I mean, I get it.
it's I mean, you got Philly, everyone's always focused on Philly and they forget about Delaware. But honestly, Delaware's a great market. We do a lot of business there. I love the areas there. So, Amanda, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am from Delaware, born and raised, lived here all my life. I got into real estate back during COVID in 2020. I actually lost my job as a sales rep for a liquor distribution company. Got into real estate in probably the craziest market anyone's ever worked in. And I've really been happy with it, have loved it for the last 2 years, and just can't wait to see kind of what this shift will bring.
Yeah, so you're the up and coming realtor. That I always see all these memes that the realtors who haven't been there since 2008 don't know what they're in for,
Yeah.
right? But I appreciate you coming on the show because I personally think you kind of encumber where real estate is going. What I mean by that is you're on social media, you're always active, and you're always showing good what your clients are saying about you. So I think because we always preach marketing first, right? I mean
Yeah.
we're just in the business of lending and real estate, but we're marketers first, and I think you do a phenomenal job at marketing. So to me,
Thanks.
yeah, to me, it's no surprise that you're doing really well. I mean, a lot of people are saying anybody could be a realtor in this market, but I would say, especially in the last 5 months, that's definitely shifted, and I see you still doing strong. So I really appreciate you coming on the show, and just kind of want to get your insight here. So, what areas of Delaware do you particularly cover? Do you cover the whole state? Do you have any focuses? What do you do?
Yeah, so technically I am available, licensed, able to sell in the entire state of Delaware. My team, Law Realty, we actually do the entire state, although a good portion of the team focuses more on like Sussex County, Kent County. I actually live up north in Newcastle County, so for gas purposes, I like to say Newcastle County, Kent County, but I have gone to the beach for showings as well. It really just depends. I don't ever like to serve in an area that I'm not super familiar with
Yep.
just for my client's sake. But as I've been in this business more and more and getting to know more parts of the state, I feel like I'm opening up more areas to actually serve in.
For sure, for sure. So, I mean, just take us back to when you started. What were conversations like with your customers? And then I guess kind of just walk us forward and how they've changed in just 2 years' time. Because I mean, that's been the whole thing is that it's real estate's always changing, but never
Hmm.
changed this fast before. And you entered at the peak speed of change, right? So
Yeah.
so from your perspective, I mean, in a way, you don't know any better, right? So from your perspective, how's it been? How's the ride been for you?
It's been good. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was hard. When I first got started back in 2020, I felt like I wasn't doing anything for like 6 months. No clients were coming in, I didn't know anything, and I think a lot of realtors, regardless of the market, feel that way when they first get into real estate.
Yep.
But then it was like everyone is coming up to you saying, "You must be doing so well because the market's so hot." And you're like, "Well, I'm not, but what am I doing wrong?" um, so I would say the biggest shift for me, both success wise and with my clients, was when I switched over to Loft. I was
Mm,
originally with Remax, and then um, I found there was a lot more guidance with Loft in regards to helping clients and understanding the craziness of this market because a lot of the agents that I work with were also getting into it at the same time. So we were all kind of learning together and learning from each other's struggles and our successes. So in the beginning, it was craziness. I feel like it was a constant rise, but little like hills going down and then it would go back up. And I'm still seeing that kind of now. It's definitely slowing down, but in the beginning, it was going up against 20 offers. Everyone was offering over asking, agreeing to cover transfer taxes, appraisal gaps. They were saying, I'll give you two tickets to a Phillies game, whatever it was. They were literally just selling whatever they could to
Did
get an
that
offer
actually happen? Did
accepted.
somebody offer Philly tickets?
I had someone who offered to either take someone out to dinner,
Oh,
like a
wow.
really nice dinner, pay for like their moving costs. That was a new one. Um, some people, I think someone from my team had like a Netflix subscription or something. So random things were just popping up left and right,
Yeah.
and you really never knew when you were going to get your offer accepted
Mm.
because you thought you were coming to the table with the strongest offer, and then somebody would come in, cash buyer who was doing everything that you were doing, but they could close in 10 days.
Yep.
So it was really difficult. I found that for myself and for my clients, getting them into those homes that everybody else couldn't see the potential with was really our sweet spot to find them that right home. It may have been on the MLS for 10 days, which, is not a long time, but it was at that time.
Yep.
And so finding something that was sitting a little bit longer, maybe needed a little bit more work, wasn't picture perfect, and then getting them into that home where they were still able to keep those contingencies and protections for themselves was really great. And we're starting to see that again now, which I love.
Yep.
But it depends. Heck, I just put in an offer on a house in Wilmington, and it had 16 offers on it. And I said, What do you mean? We're slowing down. It has 16 offers. So it's really weird. It's so unpredictable. It depends on the area, the house. And so I think it's one of those things where you really just have to take every home with a grain of salt and really try to figure out as much as you can with a situation. But it's hard to predict anything right now. It has been for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, anything in particular since interest rates have been going up? I mean, what we're noticing just from people we've had in the Philly area,
Hmm.
echoing the same thing you are. So that's always good when you see markets having similar stories. It's just like it depends on where, right? It depends on where
Yeah.
in Wilmington. It depends the quality of the house, that kind of thing. So we've never really had as much of a unique. It's like property by property resolution, right? So
Yes.
that's crazy. It's never, usually there's some disparity, but nothing like we're seeing today, where you go from, well, this house might sell for under asking by 10,000, and this house might oversell by 20,000, right? Just because it's two
Hmm.
blocks down, right? So, um, I mean, have your conversations changed at all with any of your clients?
Yeah, I think the biggest change, like you mentioned, is with interest rates and trying to get them to understand what their purchasing power is now that the interests have gone up, but also having those conversations actually more so with first time home buyers again, because they're realizing, okay, there's not a burst, there's not a bubble. Even though interest rates are rising, it's not like prices are dropping by
Mm.
$100,000. They may be slowing down. They may, if they're not listed correctly, they are dropping in price, but that's only if something is happening within that market that's not allowing that home to sell. Whereas I feel like now home buyers are realizing, okay, I have to get in right now before interest rates continue to rise again.
Yep.
Hindsight is 2020. If I could go back to 2020 and buy 5 houses, I
Right.
would. It was the perfect time to, but no one knew. And I think that's where people are realizing now, do I buy and wait or wait and buy? And I'm trying to encourage more people to buy and wait in this market because the second that interest rates do go back down or the second that the market seems better for people, everyone's going to jump back into it and it's not going to be a favorable market anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because you joined. I'd probably say since COVID, basically, there's been this just like massive is now the right time, is now the right
Yeah.
time. Like it's always been that, but the reason has just shifted over the last 2 years. But
Yeah.
the feeling of I just don't know, I just don't know, I just don't know hasn't changed. I mean, it's always kind of like that in real estate. Like I mean, everybody always you're about to put a
Yeah.
hundred to $400,000 down. All of a sudden, you get cold feet. But like I think it's more so than ever. Just right now, it feels very condensed. But yeah, I mean, it seems like we had one guest on. They said that the upgrading selling has kind of stopped. It's more starting to become people who just
Yeah.
they need to move, right? And like you said, it's like you can wait. Interest rates might go up, it might go down, but if you got to move, you got to move, right? So
Absolutely. And I think it's more of trying to help people understand that, especially the last 2 years, looking for that dream home or that perfect home, it didn't exist. Or
mm.
if it did exist, it had 50 offers on it. And so people were trying to understand the value of purchasing a home that wasn't necessarily their dream home. And I think with the conversations, at least that I've had and my brokerage has had with more clients about leveraging your equity. And if you did buy 2 years ago, heck, for example, I had a client who bought in March. They bought their home for 285 in March. We sold it last month for 325.
Okay. Wow.
Literally, when I tell you leveraging your equity, they did it in 5 months' time. Now, granted, it was a really unfortunate situation as to why they had to sell, but that was kind of the big takeaway that I was trying to give to a lot of my clients as to even if you stayed in your house for 2 years and it's not your dream home, you can make it into that, or you can leverage that equity to buy that next dream home
Hmm.
2 years from now, and really trying to get especially young buyers to
Mhm.
understand how they can use their own money to get what they want later down the line.
Are you seeing a lot of new home buyers in the areas you're in come in right now?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a weird mixture. In the beginning, 2020, 2021, it was a ton of people who were buying high, or sorry, I should say selling high in like California, New York, New Jersey, PA,
Yep.
wanting to move to Delaware simply for the low property taxes. You could buy the same size home for a fraction of the price of what they sold their original home at. But now I think as first time home buyers who originally saw the market, maybe back during 2021, saved up a little, fixed their credit, are realizing the value of purchasing a home and seeing how crazy rent prices have recently increased. I'm having more and more conversations. They're not immediate. I wouldn't say a lot of the conversations are like, we're going to buy right now, but
Hmm.
I'm having more first time homebuyer consultations where people may want to buy in the next 6 to 12 months, when they feel like they understand the process more.
So, I mean, are you kind of seeing? We're seeing a lot of the exodus from New York and Philly was hitting South Jersey and the outbound areas of Philly. Is that also kind of what you're seeing, like with those first time home buyers? Are they coming from New York, Philly, those areas? Is that what's going on?
No, I think a lot of my first time home buyers are from Delaware looking to
Okay.
buy in Delaware. More so the people that are traveling or relocating are those second, third time home buyers who are looking either to downsize or retire here, especially the Delaware beaches. We're such a central location for everyone. If they
Yep.
have family in New Jersey, PA, we're so close. And I think a lot of older couples are taking advantage of that. So more first time home buyers already in the state who have been renting or living at their parents' house and now like are ready to make that next step.
Yeah, I mean that's the spread. You got you got the first time home buyers all the way to the retirees, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean it sounds like a little bit different than the Philly area, but it's close enough. Or it sounds like it is a similar market. So I mean we're actually already at time. So before we go though, do you have any whether it's a first time home buyer, maybe somebody who's thinking about getting into real estate, you got anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say for anyone who is looking to get into real estate, it's always a good time to get into real estate, whether you want to be a realtor or you're looking to buy or sell. But I think doing your research beforehand and really knowing what you're getting yourself into for all circumstances is super important. Myself, I love having conversations with anyone, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or get into it as a career. I think I pride myself in being transparent about the entire process and about the industry. So if you just want to learn, hit me up. I'm your girl to do that for.
And how could they do that? What's the best way for them to contact you?
Oh, yeah. My cell phone is 302-753-5025. And then, of course, I answer all DMs or messages on my Instagram at Amanda DeFlip, or you can just find me on Facebook with my name right here, Amanda DeFlippis dash Loft Realty.
And we got your email scrolling at the bottom.
Hmm.
So if you haven't seen that the whole 15 minutes, I don't know what you've been looking at. So, Amanda, really appreciate the inside scoop onto Delaware. We hope to have you on the show again. And have a great rest of your day.
You too, Ryan. Thanks, guys.